I never thought my life would feel this complete. Standing in my penthouse apartment, watching the city lights sparkle below, I whispered to myself, I made it. Emma slid her hand into mine, her fingers soft, familiar. You look proud, she said, eyes twinkling. I should be, I laughed. We just closed the Cartotech deal. $500,000 in revenue overnight. Feels unreal. Daniel appeared beside me, a smug smile I should have learned to mistrust. You're too modest, James. This is just the beginning. I know, I said, clinking my glass with his. But tonight, I want to enjoy it. We earned this. Luke, my best friend since childhood, hovered nearby. He didn't speak much tonight, just sipped his drink and scanned the crowd. Something in his eyes nagged at me, but I shrugged it off. Luke, you're quiet. Something wrong? He forced a grin. No, mate. Just soaking it all in. Emma nudged me playfully. Don't get distracted by Luke. It's our night. I laughed, feeling invincible. I never noticed the way her gaze lingered on Daniel longer than it should, the subtle smirk she shared with him when she thought I wasn't looking. Later, as the party buzzed with chatter, Daniel leaned close. James, I think we're ready to expand overseas. Investors are lining up. I grinned. Finally, I've been waiting for this moment. Emma's laugh floated past us. I can't believe you to actually talk business at parties. I caught her eye and smiled. Passion never sleeps. Luke came over, rubbing his jaw. James, can we talk later? Just private. His voice had that edge, nervous, almost guilty. Sure, I said, shrugging. After the celebration, hours later, I stood on the balcony, Emma leaning against me. You're amazing, she said softly. I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said, spinning her gently. I couldn't have done it without you, or Daniel, she murmured. I froze, sensing the hint of something I didn't want to see. Yeah, he's been great. I tried to laugh it off. Luke's warning flashed in my mind, but I silenced it. Not tonight. Tonight was ours. Inside, Daniel clinked a glass with Emma. To James, he said. The genius behind it all. She smiled back, a little too brightly. To James, she echoed. I felt a twinge of discomfort, but I swallowed it down. I was happy. I had no reason to doubt. I had it all. The career, the girl, the friends. Luke cornered me in the kitchen later. James, you're too trusting, he muttered, almost as if afraid I'd hear him. People aren't always who they seem. I laughed, patting his shoulder. Luke, come on. You've known me forever. I trust you. He shook his head slowly. Just be careful, mate. I brushed it off. Overthinking never got anyone anywhere, Emma returned, whispering in my ear, Dance with me? I took her hand, twirling her around the living room. Her laughter filled the space, and for a moment, I believed in perfection. Daniel watched, sipping his drink, his smile hidden. Luke leaned against the wall, silent, eyes darting. I didn't notice the cracks yet. Not the subtle glances, the hidden smirks, the tension beneath the celebration. I didn't see betrayal brewing right under my nose. Tonight, I was untouchable. Tonight, I was James Carter, king of my perfect life. And yet, something told me that perfection never lasts. I didn't expect the night to end like this. I walked into my office early the next morning, still buzzing from last night's celebration, only to find Daniel standing by my desk, looking guilty. James, we need to talk, he said. His tone was unusually serious. I raised an eyebrow. Sure, what's up? He hesitated. It's about Emma. And Luke. My stomach twisted. Go on, Daniel swallowed. I didn't want you to hear it this way, but Emma and I. We've been seeing each other for months. I froze. The words didn't register. What? What are you saying? My voice cracked. He avoided my eyes. I'm saying, she's not. Faithful, I laughed, a short bitter sound. No, that's impossible. She's lying to you, James. I didn't plan for it to happen like this. I slammed my hand on the desk. You lied to me? Both of you. I never wanted to hurt you, Daniel muttered. I felt my chest tighten. Never wanted to hurt me? You've destroyed everything. The door opened and Luke stepped in. James, I can explain. Explain, I shouted, my voice echoing in the office. You've been sabotaging my business, undermining me and hiding this. How do you explain that? Luke flinched. I made mistakes. I didn't know it would get this far. Mistakes? I repeated, voice rising. You've been lying to me, betraying me, and now, my girlfriend, my best friend, my partner. All of you? Emma appeared at the doorway, eyes wide. James, please don't. Don't you dare talk to me, I cut her off. Every word sharp, every breath heavy. I trusted you. All of you. Her lips trembled. I never wanted to hurt you. I laughed bitterly, pacing the room. Never wanted to hurt me? You took everything I had, my trust, my company, my life. Daniel stepped forward, cautiously. James, we can fix this. I can make amends, fix this. I shouted, turning on him. Do you know what it feels like to have the people you love stab you in the back? Do you? Luke tried again. James, I was pressured. I didn't think pressure. You're pathetic. I shouted. You were my best friend. Emma's voice cracked. James, I still love you. I laughed again, a dry, hollow sound. Love doesn't destroy someone. Love doesn't betray someone every step of the way. I threw my glass across the room, watching it shatter against the wall. How could I be so blind? Daniel flinched. I'm sorry. I yelled. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't undo the humiliation I feel right now. Sorry doesn't bring back trust. Luke lowered his head. I messed up, okay? You've all messed up. You've ruined everything, I growled. I sank into my chair, pressing my face into my hands. I can't believe this is real. The silence that followed was suffocating. Emma's sniffle was the only sound. Daniel avoided my gaze completely. Luke fidgeted, guilt radiating from him. I thought I knew who you were, I muttered, barely audible. I thought I could trust you. I was wrong. All of you. Emma stepped closer. James, please. I whispered, voice shaking. Just don't. I need time, alone. They hesitated, then left silently, the door clicking shut behind them. I stayed there staring at the floor. My mind spun. Betrayal, disbelief, anger, it was all tangled inside me. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, couldn't even breathe properly. I kept replaying their faces, their lies, the smiles that had fooled me for months. How could I have missed this? Luke, Daniel, Emma, why? I whispered to myself, my voice raw. Why did you do this? I wanted revenge. I wanted justice. I wanted my life back. But right now, I just wanted to disappear. I sank deeper into my chair, the weight of betrayal pressing down on me. Everything I had built, everything I believed in, had been shattered in one night. And yet through the numbness, a single thought emerged. Clear and cold. I will rise again. They won't see it coming. I didn't recognize my apartment anymore. Empty bottles, unopened mail, and the quiet hum of a city that didn't care about me. I muttered, how did it all go so wrong? A knock echoed through the silence. I groaned. Who the hell? James Carter? A calm, older voice said. I looked up to see a woman standing at the door, sharp suit, sharper eyes. I'm Olivia Bennett. I heard about your situation? Situation? I scoffed. You mean betrayal? Humiliation? Ruin? She smiled faintly. Call it a crossroads. Can I come in? I hesitated, then stepped aside. She entered, surveying the chaos. Messy, but not beyond repair, she said. Easy for you to say, I muttered, slumping onto the sofa. You don't know what it's like to have your life stolen. Actually, I do, she said, sitting across from me. I've seen talented people thrown off their path. Some give up. Others rebuild stronger. Rebuild? After losing everything? My company's gone. My friends betrayed me, Emma. Gone. How do I rebuild that? Step one, Olivia said, leaning forward, is realizing your power isn't gone. It's just dormant. I stared at her. Dormant? I feel like a corpse. She raised an eyebrow. And yet you're talking to me, breathing, thinking? That's a start. I laughed bitterly. Breathing doesn't mean living. I've lost everything I trusted. How do I even begin? By taking control of what you can, she said. Small steps. Decisions that remind you of your strength. You're smarter than anyone around you. Smarter than those who betrayed you. I rubbed my face. You make it sound simple. It isn't, she admitted. But sitting here, feeling sorry for yourself, changes nothing. Your company may have collapsed, but your mind, your instincts, they're intact. I exhaled slowly. So what? I start over. Pretend nothing happened? Not pretend, she corrected. Adapt. Learn. Plan. Use what you've lost to fuel what you'll gain. I felt a flicker of something, a spark I thought extinguished. And if I fail again? Failure is temporary. Regret lasts forever. Choose wisely. I stared at her, swallowing hard. You think I can actually come back from this? Olivia's eyes softened. I don't think, James, I know. The room was silent for a moment. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell her that I was broken beyond repair, but something in her voice rooted me. All right, I said finally. Let's say I try. What's step one? Understand your enemies, she said. Daniel, Luke, Emma, they underestimated you. That's your leverage. And learn from your mistakes. Trust wisely. Act decisively. I groaned. I can't even look at them without my stomach twisting. That's natural, she said. Use it. Channel the anger. The pain can be a weapon if you wield it carefully. I leaned back, feeling the weight in my chest. Weapon. Sounds cold. Cold? She smiled. No. Strategic survival. You're not hurting for the sake of hurting, you're reclaiming what's yours. I paused. The idea felt foreign yet exhilarating. I don't even know where to start. Step by step, Olivia said. Small victories. Planning. Allies. You don't have to face this alone. I glanced around the apartment. Empty bottles, broken papers, remnants of the life that was. Feels like starting from zero. Exactly, she said. Zero is a clean slate. You decide what comes next. A part of me wanted to scream, throw something, let the anger consume me. Instead, I nodded. All right, I'll try, but I don't want sympathy. No sympathy, she confirmed. Guidance, strategy, and accountability. That's what I offer. Exhaled again. Fine, let's start then. Tell me what I need to do first. Olivia smiled, standing. First, you rebuild your mind. Then, everything else falls into place. Tomorrow, we plan. I watched her leave and realized I hadn't felt this alive in days. Alone, yes, but for the first time since everything collapsed, I felt hope. And maybe hope was stronger than I remembered. I sat at the small desk in my apartment, a laptop open, a notebook filled with scribbles and ideas. Okay, step one, I muttered. Rebuild. Reclaim. A knock at the door startled me. Come in, I called, still scanning my plans. A young woman entered, sharp, confident. You must be James. Sophie Clark. I raised an eyebrow. Sophie Clark. That's me, she said, holding out her hand. Olivia recommended I help you. I hesitated, then shook it. All right. Help me how? I specialize in strategy, business turnaround. And well, damage control, she said. Heard you've had a rough patch. You could say that, I muttered. Partners betrayed me. Friends too. Everything's gone. Then we start small, Sophie said, sitting opposite me. First, we assess what you still have and build from there. I opened my notebook. I've already started a secret project. Minimal funding, off the radar. I want to create leverage before anyone sees me coming. Sophie's eyes sparkled. Smart secret projects give freedom. You're thinking strategically. I have to be, I said. Daniel, Luke, they underestimated me. I can't let them win again. I get it, she said. Revenge isn't just emotional. It's about positioning. I leaned back. Exactly. But I need allies. People I can trust this time. Sophie nodded. I can help. I have contacts, skilled people who won't betray you. But first, we need a plan to expose Daniel and Luke while building your empire. I scribbled notes furiously. Step 1. Gather information. Step 2. Secure resources. Step 3. Execute strategically. No mistakes. Sophie smiled. And while we do this, we strengthen your brand quietly. Make sure when you rise, it's undeniable. I like that, I said. No noise, just results. A notification pinged on my laptop. I glanced at it. Some of my old colleagues are reaching out, suspiciously curious. Gosh, Sophie leaned over. Perfect. Use that. Gather intel without revealing yourself. Let them think you're still down. Nope. I felt a surge of energy. Yes. Let them celebrate my fall a little longer. By the time they notice, it'll be too late. She grinned. Exactly. Patience is power. I rubbed my hands together. All right, Sophie. Who's on board first? I've got 2 people who can handle operations quietly. Texie V, loyal and discreet, she said. They'll work under the radar, just like your project. You're good. I want full control. But smart delegation, I said. No loose ends. Every step calculated. Sophie nodded. Agreed. And remember, every move Daniel and Luke make now will help us. Mistakes, overconfidence, we'll capitalize. I stared at my plans. I've spent weeks feeling helpless. Now I feel alive. This is more than revenge. It's reclamation. Sophie raised an eyebrow. Alive, huh? Good. That's necessary. Anger fades. Strategy endures. I need both, I said. Anger fuels me. Strategy guides me. Without either, I'm nothing. She laughed softly. Then we'll make a formidable team. I looked around at the scattered papers, the plans, the tiny apartment that felt like Command Central. Step 1 tomorrow, operational setup. Step 2, intelligence gathering. Step 3, prepare exposure. Step 4, we rise. Sophie leaned back, smiling. I like your clarity. Few have that at your stage. Most crumble or act impulsively. Not you, I smirked. I've learned from crushing failure. Impulses nearly killed me. Now, precision rules and your allies. She asked. I trust them. Carefully. Slowly, loyalty tested. Always. She nodded approvingly. Good. That's the difference between a comeback and another disaster. I closed my notebook, feeling a weight lift. Then let's begin. Quiet, calculated, unstoppable. Sophie stood. Tomorrow, we move. Tonight, rest. You'll need energy for what comes next. I watched her leave and whispered to myself, they think I'm gone. They're wrong. Completely wrong. For the first time in months, I believed it. I leaned back in my chair, watching the city lights through my window, a faint smile on my lips. Tonight's the night, I muttered to myself. Sophie appeared beside me, coffee in hand. Ready? She asked. More than ever, I said. Daniel thinks I'm still down. Luke thinks I'm broken. They have no idea what's coming. Sophie nodded. Your first move? I tapped the screen of my laptop. A small project. Nothing flashy. Just enough to disrupt Daniel's clients and gain attention quietly. She raised an eyebrow. Under the radar. I like it. But you sure this won't backfire? I've calculated every angle, I replied. No room for mistakes. A ping from my phone. A client email, praising my project's initial success. I grinned. Already, Sophie? Already they're noticing. Luke's voice came over a call I intercepted. He didn't know I could listen. Daniel, have you seen this? Some new company is getting traction fast. Isn't it, James? Daniel scoffed. Impossible. He's gone. Luke's laugh trembled. Gone? I don't know. Something's off. The timing, the moves. He's strategic. I whispered to myself. Good. Let them panic. Sophie looked over my shoulder. You're feeding them just enough to make them nervous. They'll make mistakes, I said, excitement rising. Every slip they make, we capitalize. Another ping. A PR release on social media anonymously highlighting Daniel's mishandled contracts. I laughed softly. Step 2. Public exposure. Minimal, but effective. Sophie frowned. You're enjoying this? Enjoying? I shook my head, smiling coldly. No, I'm focused. But I'll admit, it's satisfying. Notification popped up. Luke's internal memo to staff leaking panic. I read it aloud. Everyone, stay calm. I repeat, stay calm. James is gone. This is nothing. Sophie chuckled. And yet, chaos. I leaned forward. Exactly. Luke's arrogance is cracking. Watch carefully. He'll overreact. Another email. Daniel's signature at the bottom, frantically calling meetings, trying to control the narrative. See? I said. Fear. Sophie shook her head. Fear suits you. But be careful. Don't become them. You're not here to destroy blindly. I know, I said, tension tightening in my chest. Every move is strategic. Controlled. Not vengeance for the sake of anger. Knock on my door. One of my new associates, nervously holding papers. James, Daniel's team is noticing patterns. They're investigating. Good, I said. We want them looking, guessing. Let them waste time and energy. Sophie nodded approvingly. Their panic is your leverage. I rubbed my face. I almost feel guilty. Am I crossing a line? Am I becoming what I hated? Sophie leaned closer. Think clearly. You're reclaiming power, not destroying people unnecessarily. Intent matters, exhaled. Intent matters, right? Another ping. A client sent a message. We noticed your approach very impressive. Can we discuss partnerships? Step 3, I whispered. Real traction. They can't touch this. Luke's voice again, intercepted. Daniel, he's moving too fast. I don't like this. Something's wrong. Daniel snapped back. We'll counter it. But I swear, James Carter is back. And I laughed softly. He doesn't know. He's blind. Blind to my moves, blind to my strategy. Sophie smiled. And they'll keep making mistakes. Just don't lose yourself in this game. I won't, I said firmly. I control the pace, the moves, everything. Anger fuels me, but strategy guides me. A final email popped up. Another anonymous PR piece highlighting Daniel's errors in front of investors. Look at that, I said. Small, precise. They crumble under their own arrogance. Sophie shook her head. You're methodical. Impressive, I exhaled, feeling the thrill of the first strike. They celebrated my fall. Now, they'll be scrambling. Sophie leaned back. Tomorrow, we escalate. But tonight, let them panic. I smiled coldly. Yes, let them panic. And for the first time in months, I felt alive, focused, unstoppable. I watched the news feed scroll across my laptop, a small smile forming. Finally, I muttered. Sophie leaned over my shoulder. Daniel's getting hammered. Investors pulling out, contracts canceled, public humiliation at its peak. I grinned. And he thought I was gone. He thought he could destroy me and walk away. Sophie chuckled. Patience, James. This is only the beginning. My phone buzzed in, email from a mutual contact. Luke's lies about embezzlement were exposed. His personal scandals were public. I couldn't suppress a laugh. Look at him. Arrogance turned to panic. Sophie smirked. They underestimated your comeback. Always the mistake of the arrogant. I leaned back. Emma, my heart tightened. Sophie glanced at me. She reached out. She wants to see you, I snorted bitterly. She has some nerve. After everything. A knock at the door interrupted us. I opened it to find Emma standing there, eyes wide, voice shaky. James, I made a mistake. I was wrong. I want to fix this. Please. I stared at her. The memory of betrayal burned fresh. You want to fix what? You want to undo months of lies? The things you did with Daniel. Her lips trembled. I regret it. I know I hurt you. But we can start over. I still love you. I shook my head slowly. No, love doesn't excuse betrayal. Love doesn't erase humiliation or the lies. But James, don't. Just don't. My voice was calm but firm. I won't let you in again. You had your chance. Her eyes glistened, but I didn't move. I'm done being someone else's victim. I've rebuilt. I'm stronger. I'm me. She swallowed hard. So, it's over? Yes, I said simply. The door clicked shut, leaving a silence filled with relief and power. I exhaled. Finally, Sophie handed me a tablet. Daniel's scrambling. Board meetings failing. Investors losing confidence. Public reputation in shreds. I studied it, satisfaction coursing through me. He thought charm and manipulation would save him. Karma works in subtle ways. Hey, Sophie nodded. And Luke? I smiled thinly. Luke's life is unraveling too. Staff leaving, friends distancing themselves. His lies catch up to him faster than he can react. A message popped up Luke, pleading with an old colleague, desperation clear. James, I don't know what went wrong. I need your help. I laughed softly. Help? You helped destroy me. Now you want help? Sophie leaned in. This is the moment. You have control. You can decide how it ends. Forgive? Revenge? I've learned revenge is more satisfying when it's earned naturally. Exactly, she said. Let them face the consequences without you having to lift a finger. You've done the work. Let the fallout finish it. I watched Daniel's frantic video conference, his face red, words stumbling, investors questioning every decision. Pathetic, I whispered. All his pride, crumbling in front of everyone. Sophie smirked. And he's only just realizing what he lost. I felt a pang but quickly dismissed it. Anger had turned into clarity. I won't celebrate this too loudly. Satisfaction is quiet. Victory is composure. Another ping Luke's public apology posted online, but it sounded hollow, desperate. Even his words can't save him now, I said. Sophie nodded. Exactly. He underestimated the consequences, and now he's paying. I leaned back, fingers steepled. I expected betrayal to hurt, but seeing them falter, it's reinforcing. I'm learning to control emotion with strategy. Sophie smiled. Good. That's the difference between a man destroyed by betrayal and a man who rises above it. I exhaled slowly. I am rising. And no one can stop me now. A notification blinked another email from Emma begging for a meeting. I deleted it immediately. No. Closure is necessary. The past stays in the past. Sophie glanced at me. You're calm, strong, unshakable. I nodded. I've been broken, humiliated, betrayed, but now I'm fully myself. They crumble. I thrive. That's the lesson. The city lights outside flickered, indifferent to my small victories. I smiled, a quiet, controlled smile. They celebrated my fall. Now they're watching my rise. Sophie raised her coffee cup. To the rise of James Carter. I clinked mine against hers. To the rise, I said, and meant it. I walked into the gala, tucked sharp, confidence solid. The chandeliers reflected my calm smile. Tonight, I whispered to myself, everything ends. Sophie came up beside me. You ready? More than ready, I said. They'll see me rise, all of them. The crowd mingled, unaware of the storm about to hit. And then I spotted them, Daniel, Luke, Emma, laughing, as if nothing had happened. I approached, calm. Daniel, Luke, Emma. My voice cut through the chatter. They froze, surprised. Emma's lips parted. James, I don't, I said sharply. Not a word until you hear me. Daniel's eyes narrowed. What's this? A joke? No joke, I replied, letting my gaze sweep the room. I'm here to reveal truths you hoped no one would see. Luke stepped forward, arrogance plastered across his face. I don't know what you mean, Luke. Don't lie. I have proof of every deal you sabotaged, every lie you spread, every betrayal you orchestrated. Gasps floated through the room. Daniel's face reddened. Proof. That's impossible. I smiled faintly. Impossible is what you called my comeback. Look around. Your contract's failing. Your credibility crumbling. Proof enough, perhaps? Emma's voice wavered. James, please, please. I echoed, do you hear yourself? You betrayed me with him, Daniel. Months of lies, manipulation, deceit, and you, Luke, destroyed everything we built together. Daniel's jaw tightened. I did what I had to. I laughed softly. You've destroyed friendships, careers, lives for greed and ego. And now, everyone can see it. Luke's face twisted. James, wait, we know. I cut him off. No excuses. No pleading. You lost your chance. Emma stepped closer, eyes pleading. I made a mistake, James. I regret it. We can fix this. I shook my head. Calm now. Fix. No. I don't need excuses, and I don't need your forgiveness. I've grown. I've moved on you. You've fallen. Sophie appeared at my side, discreetly observing. Her presence reminded me of control, strategy, patience. Daniel's hands clenched. You think you're better than us? You think this is over? I raised a glass. It's over for you. For me, it's just beginning. Let the words hang. 2 lessons learned, 2 betrayal exposed, 2 truths standing firm. The crowd whispered, the tension electric. Daniel's face was pale. Luke's arrogance shattered. Emma's tears glistened. You're ruthless, Daniel spat. Strategic, I corrected. There's a difference. Luke's voice cracked. James, we didn't know exactly, I said. You didn't know. You underestimated me. You counted on me staying broken. I didn't. And now? I paused, scanning the room. Now you see the consequences, Emma sobbed. James, please. I shook my head. No, your time ended when your lies began. I clinked my glass again. To growth, to power reclaimed, to a life rebuilt stronger than before. Sophie smiled subtly, pride clear in her eyes. Daniel turned red with fury, Luke's knees trembling. Emma collapsed into a chair, powerless. I stepped back, surveying them, calm and composed. I could destroy you further, I said quietly. But that's not me. I've learned mercy is stronger than vengeance. A hush fell over the room. The crowd sensed the gravity of my composure. The finality of the moment. I straightened, walked through the crowd, leaving Daniel, Luke, and Emma in stunned silence. Their humiliation complete, my peace intact. Outside, Sophie fell in step with me. You were incredible. I didn't just rise, I said softly, exhaling. I became untouchable. The city lights sparkled around us. For the first time, I felt free, clean slate, untarnished, unstoppable. I whispered to myself, they celebrated my fall. Now they witness my rise. And this time, nothing can stop me. I walked into my new office, sunlight spilling across the polished floor. It feels real, I muttered to myself. Sophie leaned against my desk, coffee in hand. It is real, James. You built this. I know, I said, running a hand through my hair. After everything, it's more than I imagined. Olivia appeared from the corner, a knowing smile on her face. You've transformed, James, not just the company, but yourself. I nodded slowly. I still think about them sometimes. Emma. Daniel. Luke, the lies, the betrayal. Sophie tilted her head. Do you regret anything? Regret? I paused. No, not the pain. Not the lessons. Every betrayal led me here. Olivia chuckled softly. Wise, most never learn from pain. You channeled it. I glanced at the city skyline through the window. I lost people I thought I'd always have. Friends, love, trust. But I gained clarity, strength, and control. Sophie smiled. And me, apparently. I smirked. Yes, and you. Strategic, loyal, and invaluable, laughed. Flattery aside, James, this is your life. You made it what it is. I sank into my chair, letting the weight of achievement settle. I remember nights alone shattered, thinking I'd never recover. Remembering Daniel's smirk, Luke's arrogance, Emma's betrayal. I wanted revenge, yes, but also proof that I could survive it. Olivia leaned closer. And survive you did. Better than anyone expected. I nodded, remembering the first strike, the public exposure, the confrontations. Each step was deliberate. Anger guided me. Strategy saved me. And now? Sophie interrupted softly. Now, you choose your own path. Revenge fulfilled. Life reclaimed. I smiled faintly. Life reclaimed. Yes, but it's bittersweet. I lost parts of myself along the way. Moments I'll never get back. Bittersweet is the nature of growth, Olivia said. Pain and victory often travel together. I took a deep breath. And yet I feel tree. I don't need their approval, their fear, or even their recognition. I have my success, my integrity, my choices. Sophie handed me a file. Some updates from the team. Profits up, investors impressed, and your brand reputation soaring. I flipped through the reports, satisfaction coursing through me. I've turned what was broken into strength. Every setback, every betrayal, every sleepless night. It fueled this. Olivia placed a hand on my shoulder. And it's just the beginning. You've mastered the art of resilience, James. I smiled, thinking of how far I'd come. Resilience. I've learned that true victory isn't about revenge. It's about self-respect, growth, and knowing my own worth. Sophie leaned back, eyes gleaming. And you've earned it. All of it. I glanced at my reflection in the glass, seeing the man who had fallen, who had been humiliated, and who now stood strong. I don't hate them anymore. I don't need to. My rise isn't measured by their fallets, measured by what I've become. Olivia nodded approvingly. Powerful and rare. I exhaled, letting a sense of peace wash over me. I still feel the sting of what I lost, but it no longer controls me. Every betrayal was a lesson. Every mistake, a step forward. Sophie smirked. And tomorrow? Tomorrow, I said, leaning back, I build further, stronger. I continue, not out of vengeance, but purpose. My life, my rules? Olivia smiled warmly. That's the ultimate rise, James. Not revenge, not humiliation, control over your own destiny. I looked out at the city, sunlight glinting off the skyscrapers. They celebrated my fall. Now, I celebrate my life. On my terms. I whispered to myself, this is the victory I wanted. Not theirs. Mine. Complete, untouchable, and real. I raised my glass quietly, watching the small circle of friends around me. To surviving, I said, voice calm but full. Sophie grinned. And thriving, James. Olivia nodded. You've earned every moment. I smiled softly. Not just surviving betrayal, surviving myself. Every doubt, every fear, every sleepless night hit lead here. Sophie chuckled. You look peaceful. Peaceful, I repeated. For the first time in years, I don't feel the weight of revenge or regret. I feel free. A faint ping from my phone made me glance down. A message from a former colleague. Proud of you. I typed back a simple smiley. Acknowledgement without attachment, I murmured. Olivia's eyes twinkled. You've grown stronger than any of them could ever break you. I gazed at the city lights outside. They celebrated my fall. I celebrate my rise. Not over them, but over everything I thought could define me. Sophie raised her glass. To James Carter, the man he chose to become. I clinked mine with hers. To myself, to life reclaimed, to hope, not hate. And as the city sparkled beyond the window, I realized the truth. Victory wasn't about revenge. It was about choosing myself, finally, completely, and without fear.